Constitution. That's just something they say. It's easy to say, and kids don't speak up. Of course you got constitutional rights. Hire a lawyer. Hire a lawyer.
The lawyers tell us that, too.
Well, lawyers are dumb. All right, see you later, because they work for your parents. They figure you don't have any money, so they're not going to talk to you. All right, see you later.
See ya.
Sue them. Sue them. Sue them. Take your parents to court and sue them. Let's go to Charlie. Hello, Charlie. You're on AM-750 WSB.
Hey, David. Listen, I'm your new blood here.
I like new blood. We've had a lot of new blood today, yes.
All right. Well, listen, this is kind of new to me, but I wanted to ask you, how did you get into this business?
Just applied for it. I was looking for a job one day. I went down to, a few grocery stores, and I just filling out like 30 applications, went by the radio station, filled out an application, been here ever since.
Yeah? Well, I tell you,
pretty much it, yeah.
Yeah, this is interesting. I've been unemployed for about 6 months.
Well, check out the radio stations.
Well, I think I might. I was an airline pilot for a year.
There you go. You're qualified.
You think so?
Yeah, well, see, the one thing about a talk show is you don't have to be qualified. You don't have to do anything. It's just, you know how to hold a conversation. You know what I mean? That's it.
Yeah.
That's the only requirement. But, I'm extremely educated, too. I've got 2 years of college behind me.
Yeah, well, I tell you, you're one of a kind, that's for sure.
Yeah, thanks, Charlie. So what's your opinion on all this, Charlie?
Well, listen, this parenting, I think that's what you're talking about. I think about just about the time you get it figured out, you're out of a job.
Right.
That
is true.
The project's over by the time you get it worked out.
That is, yeah, it's true. And you don't know till that kid's 29 years old whether you've done a good job or not.
You got it.
You don't know until you actually see them in action coping with the world.
Right.
Right? Yeah.
Well, the way I see it, Dave, there's no experts in this world. There's just people with opinions, right?
My opinion is based on a constitution, so mine is not an opinion. Mine is fact. I'm dealing in fact here.
Well...
Right?
Yeah, possibly.
Yeah, I'm dealing with a constitution of this United States. A lot of people have died for it. The Constitution, what this whole country is founded upon, right? I mean, that's, and if we want to disregard that, we're horrible, horrible people.
Well... Right?
And you're horrible, horrible people, parents, if you make your kid do something against the Constitution. You know what I mean? That disregards the value, it's horrible. I can't even, it just irritates me to even think about it.
Dave, I think you got a stuck record. You've been going on and on about this, but what I think is happening is that I don't think the human mind can distinguish between something truly believed and something real. And if you believe something so strongly, there's no turning back from it, whether it's right or wrong, right?
That's right.
So it looks to me like that there's no upgrading as the child grows, the parent doesn't grow. I mean, at some point early on, there definitely is an area where you really need some really genuine Longhorn stock. Would you sing?
No.
They fly it in from Canada, fresh, every day. Just jump in any time.
I told you I ain't singing.
Listen, if the man doesn't want
I ain't singing about some Canadian fish.
Oh, you're going to start that again? I thought we covered
My daddy never sung about fish. His daddy never sung about fish. We've always been strictly a meat-singing family.
Well, I know, but see, this the point of this. It's fish.
I know. For people who don't like fish, I get it.
But see, they marinate it and they grill it just like...
It was singing about steak that got us here, and I say we dance with the one that brung us.
At least try it.
Oh, I'll eat it. I just won't sing about it.
Oh, you're just being Mr. Squarehead.
Oh, excuse me, Mr. Mod Squad.
Folks, just try our new marinated salmon.
There you go.
Oh, yeah?
You embarrass me.
Come on, big time. Let's go outside.
Come on.
I'm Oprah Winfrey. Did your mate change after you got married?
You can't expect a marriage to be one big old happy romance.
Why didn't you tell me that before we got married?
They should realize that the love is there.
Well, maybe y'all should realize supper's on the table when it's not really there one night.
When your spouse becomes someone you don't even recognize. On the next Oprah Winfrey Show. That's today at 4, followed by Channel 2, Action News at 5.
Everything was great for the first few years after we got married.
When he got a promotion, he started working longer hours. The kids and I hardly saw him.
And we never talked. And when we did, it was just a fight.
It's like he doesn't love me anymore.
1 out of 2 marriages end in divorce, turning the ultimate commitment into the ultimate heartache. I'm Channel 2's Lisa Tutman. Join me for a Valentine education on how you can meet the challenge of simply staying together. Saving Your Love, Thursday at 6 on Channel 2 Action News.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Frank Perdue.
I hate to admit it, but when it comes to raising my chickens, sometimes even I don't have all the answers. But rather than say, I don't know, I call in the experts. As a matter of fact, the guy who showed me a better way for my birds to drink their water was a boy genius. Without his hands-on experience, I'd never have gotten the nipple drinker, an invention that lets my birds just reach up and peck to get a drink of pure, clean water. And since my birds don't share the same water as many others do, they aren't just drinking cleaner water, it's healthier too. You know, these nipple drinkers are something else, and I've really got to hand it to this whiz kid. Most people would have racked their brains. This guy was just doing what comes natural.
When it comes to chickens, Frank Perdue is even tougher than you are because every one of his chickens comes with his money-back guarantee. It takes a tough man to make a tender chicken. Perdue, all Kroger food stores have fresh Perdue whole turkey breasts on sale. Why not stop in and buy some?
Hi, it's Wes Minner. Want to know what teenagers think about the issues in America today? We'll find out tonight on our all-teen callers show. We'll kick it off just after 9 o'clock. It's always a hit. And then just before that at 8, consent forms for dating? Come on, cut me some slack. Now more Out to Lunch with David Paul on Atlanta's news, weather, and traffic station. News Talk Radio, AM-750 WSB.
Can't wait, Wes. Can't wait after 9 o'clock, huh? Okay, great. Kirk Mellish, tell me about the weather.
This afternoon, David, the cloud cover thickens up and the rain rolls in by tonight and continues for tomorrow. Highs today in the 50s and 60s. High tomorrow only around 50. With frequent weather updates, I'm meteorologist Kirk Mellish in the AM-750 WSB Weather Center.
Let's go to the phones, and let's talk to Robert. Hello, Robert.
How you doing, Dave?
Pretty good, Robert.
Well, I agree with you on the church thing, but it is not a constitutional thing because kids do not have a constitutional right. And because if you want
we need to write them a set then.
Well, possibly, but just think about this. If you use this freedom of religion, you have to go across the whole board with the Constitution. You don't want a 13-year-old kid riding around with a gun rack on his bike, do you? I mean, it'd be his right to do so if you want to use your logic.
No, but there's a law about how old you have to be to own a firearm, right?
No, there's not.
There's not?
There's not a shotgun.
Well, to buy one, right?
To buy one, yes, but that does not mean you can, you can't buy your kid a 12-gauge for Christmas and give it to him. I mean, you bought it, but it's his. It's just a matter of, if he wants to put it in his locker at school, would that be acceptable? I don't think so.
But why would you want to force a kid to go to church?
I'm not saying force the kid to go to church. No, my parents, I think they did it the right way. I was born into the Catholic Church, and my parents didn't agree with it, and they said, do what you want. And I went to Mormon churches, Baptist churches. I've talked to Hare Krishnas. I even had time with these guys that knock on the door all the time and harass you.
Right, Jehovah's Witnesses, yeah.
Yeah, I've talked to them, and none of it appeals to me. Mm-hmm. But I have my own beliefs, that, I can do what they do in church at my house. Mm-hmm. But I think that you should maybe once take your kid to church.
So kids don't have any constitutional rights?
No, they don't.
None.
Goes out and causes a crime, who are the police going to come after? They're going to come after you as the adults because you allowed your child to do this.
Well, they'll come after me, and I'll have to pay the damage. But they'll lock him up.
No, they won't.
They won't lock the kid up? Of course they'll lock a kid up.
They'll make you pay the damages, and they might send him to detention, which is just a little slap on the wrist. Mm-hmm. But you'll be the one to pay the price for it.
Thanks for the call, Robert.
Thanks a lot.
See you, Robert.
Bye.
Ted, you're on AM-750 WSB.
Hello?
Hello, Ted.
How you doing?
Good.
You've touched on one of my favorite topics, the Constitution of the United States. I read it once a year, and I'd like to read you the first article of the Constitution.
Okay.
Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the freedom exercise thereof. Now, that is the extent to which the First Amendment gives us freedom of religion. Mm-hmm. Someone just called you and said children have no rights.
Right.
Their rights begin under the 14th Amendment of the Constitution at the date of birth.
At the date of birth, they have rights.
Absolutely.
So they've got the same. A 9-year-old has the same rights I have.
Right as a 75-year-old.
Are y'all listening to this out there? Are y'all listening to this? So if my freedom of religion is violated, I've got recourse, right?
Right.
But a 9-year-old does not have.
Right. Right. And no state shall make a law that takes this from that abridges the 14th Amendment.
So if a parent forces a kid to go to church,
that's in violation of his rights under the First and 14th Amendment.
Are you all listening to this out there? Are you listening to this sitting in your car, sitting in your work? Okay, now, this is a violation. You read the Constitution once a year.
Absolutely.
Are y'all listening to this?
And you want to know something,
What?
David?
What?
Yeah, ask how many high school children have been taught the Constitution.
Right.
Now, I'm from an old state.
Right.
The state of Mississippi, which you say is nothing, but I'll tell you this. If there's one thing we were taught,
right,
it was the Constitution, and we had to recite the first 10 amendments.
Right.
And know the other, well, at the time there wasn't 26 amendments. But with respect to age,
right,
the only places where the Constitution qualifies age is in the 26th Amendment, which repealed the 14th Amendment for age requirements for voting.
Right.
From 21 to 18.
Well, I learned a lot by talking to you, Ted.
Well, I tell you what, just get you a copy of the Constitution.
Okay. Thank you, Ted.
And anyway, I've jabbed enough. So
Thank you. I appreciate it.
All right, give me a call.
I will. Give me a call. Do y'all hear that? Do you hear, Ted? You're breaking the law. You're violating your children's rights. You're evil, bad people to disregard it. Sorry, but I got to say it. 872-0750 is my number. David Paul, News Talk Radio, AM-750 WSB.
Our American dream is under attack. The enemy is the flood of imports that is overwhelming our country. The casualties are our jobs, our standard of living, our children's economic future, our collective well-being as a nation. Since 1980, textile and apparel imports have tripled. During that same period, more than 500,000 U.S. textile and apparel manufacturing jobs have been lost all over the country, despite the industry's reputation for quality. Trading American jobs for foreign imports isn't fair trade. What's fair about opening our market to countries that don't provide equal access to theirs? What's fair about buying clothing that was manufactured under conditions that would not be tolerated in this country? Or sacrificing our good-paying jobs just so someone can profit from 25 cents an hour labor in other countries? So if you think looking for a Made in USA label doesn't matter when you go shopping, please think again. The job you save may be your own.
Now, it's time for Out to Lunch with David Paul on News Talk Radio, AM-750 WSB. If descriptions of carnage or fiery van crashes bothers you, well, that's okay with us, huh? Call us at 872-0750. That's, you know. So, adjust your attitude and get ready for David Paul.
Finally, a channel whose time has come. Introducing the Tragedy Channel.
I got one for you. Knock, knock.
Who's there?
No one. Nuclear holocaust.
Oh, no. Each night, the Tragedy Channel brings you Stand-Up Tragedy, live from the world-famous Tragic Strip nightclub in Los Angeles.
Come on, I know you're out there. I can hear you weeping.
And every day, the anguish continues on the Tragedy Hour, where you'll relive classic tragedies like the sinking of the Titanic, the disaster at Chernobyl, and the horrifying release of Roseanne Barr's first album.
It's hard to be a woman.
Plus soap operas. 1 month to live. Talk shows. In Morning America. And original situation tragedy.
Honey, I'm homeless.
So put down that bottle of pills and call your cable operator now and demand tragic relief. The Tragedy Channel, 24 hours a day, because you would have wanted it that way.
says right here, I got a copy of the Constitution right in front of me. This is what it says. This is what it says. So I'm backing up. Everything I'm saying, I'm backing up by the United States Constitution. Can you do the same? I don't think so. See, a lot of y'all are just making it up off the top of your head. But it says, Congress shall make no laws respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof. Did you hear that? They'll make no laws. So they didn't make laws when it concerns freedom of religion, saying mommy and daddy are in charge, and mommy and daddy can deny this right to a child. It does not say that in here. It says they will make no laws. So they have made no law respecting freedom of religion. No laws. So no laws exist saying mommy and daddy are in charge of a child's religion. And if this is what it says, and mommy and daddy are making little Johnny go to church on Sunday, little Johnny doesn't want to go, the parents of parents of this child are breaking the law. They're denying the First Amendment to their child, and the president or the parents should be put in jail for a long, long time. That's what I think. What do you think? 872-0750. Bunch of lawbreakers. I don't know how you can justify it. Why would you even want to justify something so sick? Let's go to Keith. Hello, Keith. You're on AM-750 WSB.
Hello, David. I'm a first-time caller.
Great, Keith.
The Constitution, from what I understand, applies between governments and individuals and not individual to individual. So whether you dissuaded your child or...
No. The government is set up, and it's given me these rights to protect. These are guaranteed to me. These are guaranteed to my children, and they are there to enforce it.
No. Yeah,
it's not my relationship with my government.
The government can make no laws. It doesn't have anything to do with an individual.
Yeah, but I can't. The government will make no laws. There will be no laws made. That's the Constitution. That's the way it is.
Right. So you couldn't...
Oh, yeah, twist it and turn it any way you can.
Well, I don't believe that's... I don't agree with you.
It says right here, Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion. Did you hear that? So parents cannot write other laws.
There might be other remedies that the child has, but it's not under a constitutional right.
You don't like the Constitution, do you?
I love it.
Right, but you just don't want to practice it, do you, with your children?
I practice it every day.
Right, because you have an ego problem, right? With your children?
Probably do, but try not to have.
Okay, well, that's good. You're honest. Thank you, Keith.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye. It's New Blood Day. New Blood, you are welcome to participate in the show today. 872-0750 is my number. Let's go to Mrs. Green. Hello, Mrs. Green.
Hello, David.
Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
Pretty good.
Listen, when you talk about children have rights...
Turn your radio down in the background, Mrs. Green.
Okay, hold on.
I'm holding. Brother, what a day, what a day. What a day.
Yeah, we were brought up to go to church. We were not forced to go to church. But what will the children teach their children?
They'll teach them... how to be what do you mean, what do they teach them? How to eat, how to sit up at the table. I don't know, whatever they want to teach them.
About God. That's why they have no insights about right and wrong, how to take care of. Now they're going to grow up not knowing how to show their children the
There
right
are
thing.
going to be consequences, Mrs. Green, but you have to abide by the Constitution of the United States.
Oh, I understand.
Where are you from?
I'm from the West Indies.
Do you love this country?
I love this.
Are you an American?
I'm an American now, but my children...
Are your loyalties with this country?
Yes.
Okay.
But my children were never forced to go to church. He encouraged me, are you going to church today? And we brought him up in church. He's an acolyte. He was... church served in God, and we lived as a family. And I think
but there are plenty of people who who do not go to church that know the difference between right and wrong. It's just it all has to do with the parents. It's not whether you go to church or not. It has whether the parents have taught them right or wrong,
right,
and the proper behavior. right?
Okay, I say that too.
Okay, that's good. That's good.
Yeah. All right.
All right. See you later.
Okay. Bye.
Bye. 872-0750. Let's go to Phil. Hello, Phil. You're on the radio.
Hey, Dave. What's going on?
Mess around, man. Mess around.
Know the feeling. Yeah. Well, when I called in, there was a guy talking about people having the lockers and whatnot searched at school. And you saying how wrong that was.
Of course it's wrong.
Of course it is. But it's the parents' fault for sending the kids to a school where they have to employ such Gestapo tactics.
Yep.
But, but it's like this. Once you send your kid to school, it's like you're assigning your child's rights over to the principal of that school. And the principal decides, hey, the kid don't have constitutional rights. Well, he doesn't have any rights. It's just like I'm his parent. He can make whatever rights he wants, and that's like stupid.
These people really believe that, though. The schools believe they can just disregard it and make it because, huh?
Well, they can because
we don't stand in their way.
Right. And if more people like you would, get up and stand in their way.
You know what we need to do? We need to find a willing kid. Let's find a 16-year-old kid that's rights are being violated by his parents, all right? And let's make an example of his parents, and let's have him sent to prison.
No.
Let's find a 16-year-old kid. Let's hire him a lawyer, and let's get him to prosecute Mommy and Daddy, and let's put his parents in prison to make an example for the rest of the parents to follow. What do you think? Should we do it?
Yeah, we could do it.
Should we do it as a project, kind of a class project here? As a class project, let's find a kid and do it. You want to do it?
Yeah, we could do that, but you know how most of these 16-year-olds are. They're wimps.
I know.
They're scared of Mommy and Daddy.
Well, it's not that most are wimps. There's only out of 100, 100 16-year-olds, you have 3 leaders or three. You know what I mean? The rest a bunch of sheep, right?
That's right.
Right. All right. See you later.
Later, Dave. Hey, I met you out at the mall, man.
You did?
Yeah, it was a cool show out there. I saw you Big John almost killed that bottle of perfume when he threw the orange.
Oh, golly, yes. He threw an orange across the mall.
Yeah. It was an expensive bottle of perfume he almost hit.
He didn't hit it, though, did he?
I ran.
I know. Were you on the other side?
Yeah.
He almost hit a big bottle of perfume?
Yeah, I ran, man.
Oh, that would have been a mistake. Could you imagine a $150 bottle of perfume or something?
Yeah, there's a bill for WSB.
Oh, God, wouldn't that have been? All right, see you later.
Later, Dave.
All right, yeah, we were at the mall, and there was a big gap in the mall, from one side of the mall to the other, and Big John, my Saturday producer, took an orange, and he heaved it across the mall inside one of the major department stores, and yes, we shouldn't have got so carried away, but we did. Let's go to Ron. Hello, Ron. You're on AM-750 WSB.
Hey, Dave.
Hello.
How you doing?
Pretty good.
I'm going down toward Orlando, picked up the show.
Good. Where are you heading to? Where in Orlando?
Just going down to Orlando. Got to go down there and do a show down that way. I'm in publishing and got to go down that way and set up an exhibit and such.
It's a great place. It's where I used to live.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I was born and raised in Orlando.
Well, I need to know a couple of good places, good restaurants to go to.
What are you going to get there?
Well, it doesn't matter. I'd like to go to a good restaurant down
tonight.
That way.
Forget the good restaurants. Go to Rosie O'Grady's and party all night.
Okay,
Rosie O'Grady. Just go to Church. It's called Church Street Station. Go to Church Street Station. You ever watch that TV show? It's called the Cheyenne Saloon.
Yeah.
You know where they do the old country bands. That's just one of them. There's like 10 bars. Go to the Cheyennes, or go to Rosie O'Grady's tonight. It's all about 10 bars, all connected. A really hot place.
Oh, that's great. Well, I'm gonna do that. Hey, let me ask you a question.
Sure.
You wasn't jumping, but somebody was talking about the anti-establishment clause and such, and I just want to ask what you felt about all these preachers that get all these tax breaks. For example, they get a housing allowance and they don't have to pay any taxes on that.
Of course.
And
well, I don't want to get into discussion about that today, Ron, but we all know that's corrupt. Of course that's corrupt.
Well, that's what I thought.
I mean, in my opinion, you've got a church burning down, right? And you've got my little bitty warehouse burning down, right?
That's it.
Which one does the fire department go to? Well, he goes to my little bitty warehouse because I pay taxes.
You're right.
Right?
That's right.
Yeah, I'd rather have a bingo parlor than a church in some locations because they pay taxes.
Well, you can get something out of a bingo parlor.
That's right. All right, see you later.
Okay, take
care. Bye. Well, watch it, people. Watch it. Hello, Katherine. You're on News Talk Radio, AM-750 WSB.
Yes, I'd just like to comment on these kids having constitutional rights.
That's right.
I just don't go along with that.
You don't believe they have any?
I don't believe they have the kind to tell me what I'm not supposed to do.
Who's not? Who's going to tell you what not to do?
My kids. About making them go to church or whatever. I think as long as I pay the bills around the house and I feed them, that they are on my roof and they're supposed to do what I'm.
You're a prisoner, huh?
No, I'm
and
not.
You're the warden.
No, I don't think kids should have their own say-so when they are on the age. Those kids are minors.
Right.
Okay, if you're a minor, then you don't have your rights.
You don't.
No. You're under your parents' guardians, and your parents are responsible for whatever that child does. If that child goes out there and gets in trouble, the parents are almost in trouble, too.
That's right.
They are
Parents will have to pick up the bill, right?
That's right.
But we're talking about something very sensitive here, right? We're talking about religion, something that will stick with you the rest of your life, right?
Yes.
It may be your eternal life or something, right? Forever and ever and ever. We're talking about something very fragile here, right? Very fragile. And something that fragile, a parent does not have the right to abuse because they've got custody of you for 18 years when you could live to be 98 years old.
That's not abusing.
Man, you're abusing them. You're denying them that you're forming in their opinion. You're forming their opinion, and that's not the way they want it formed. See, a kid could live to be 98 years old, could live to be a great-great-grandfather, right?
Do you believe in the Bible?
Do I believe?
Yes.
What do you mean, do I? That's a goofy question. Do I believe in the Bible? I've held one in my hands. It's hard not to believe in it when you're holding it in your hand.
What's your belief about training a child?
Well, I'm not going to. I don't want to get into that. What I'm talking about is you just can't. You know what I'm saying, don't you? Know what I'm saying, Katherine?
You're training him when you're training the child to go to church.
But he's going to live. He's going to live to be 98 years old.
That's great.
Right. So something that fragile you can't mess with. You can't take away that right and deform the whole process or whatever just by because you're a parent who just.
Well, I would feel guilty. If I didn't train my kids to go to church,
yes.
I would feel very guilty because then I wouldn't feel as bad if they went out and something happened. But if I don't try to train the child, then the sapling while it's young, if I didn't try to do that, then I would really have a guilty feeling. The way I'm doing it. I just think it that way.
Okay, Katherine. Thanks, Katherine.
Okay.
All right, see you later.
Bye-bye.
Bye. David Paul, 872-0750. David Paul, News Talk Radio, AM-750 WSB.
Local, national, world news. You get it all on News Talk Radio, AM-750 WSB. We cover world news with AP Radio, and the Associated Press has more correspondents worldwide than any other network. AM-750 WSB. News, weather, traffic. Depend on it.
The Valentine's Day comparison test. We're on the mall in front of Hellsberg Diamonds. You are? What's that?
Mother and daughter.
Mother and daughter.
Right.
All right, well, on my left here, I have a dozen red roses. I paid $59 for them. On my right, a heart-shaped ruby ring from Hellsberg Diamonds. 15 red rubies, 3 diamonds. It's also $59. Which would you choose?
I would take 15 red rubies.
Would you really?
Yes.
Okay.
I would definitely take the ruby ring. I could wear it forever.
Yeah.
And the roses only last for a couple of days.
Isn't that a good point?
I think that's a very good point.
I mean, would you want something for Valentine's Day that insects have pollinated?
No.
And at Hellsberg Diamonds, this heart-shaped ring also comes as a pendant.
I like both of them. They're very pretty, yes.
You're into this now.
I'll send my husband over for sure.
What's his name? I'll wait for him. What's his name?
Bob.
Bob has been here already.
Well, good.
Hellsberg Diamonds, Hellsberg Value.
North Lake, South Lake, Town Center, Cumberland Mall, Gwinnett Place, Lenox Square, and Perimeter Mall.
You know, the one thing you never forget about growing up in the city is the neighborhoods. The whole town was like a patchwork quilt of neighborhoods. I remember the people who took care of us when we were kids. Mrs. Rose at school and Terry down at the bike shop. But most of all, Dr. Kavanaugh. He was the man who brought me into this world and the family doctor to everybody in the neighborhood.
Goodies makes you feel so good.
The family doctor has been an American institution for generations, someone you can believe in. Now, when family doctors from across the country were asked which pain relief formula they preferred, the one in Goody's headache powders or the one in BC, those doctors not only preferred Goody's, they preferred Goody's 3-to-1.
Goody's, the South's #1 headache powder.
Goodies makes you feel so good again.
Healthcare is at the top of everyone's mind, and these days more services are moving away from the hospital setting toward the outpatient physician office. Leading the way is Atlanta's premier multi-specialty physician group, Atlanta Medical, providing quality medical care since 1925 and featuring 48 physicians in more than 20 specialties. Atlanta Medical is a state-of-the-art facility in Midtown at I-75, 85, and 10th Street, and is the center for Atlanta Medical's doctor's offices and diagnostic and laboratory testing. And Atlanta Medical provides an immediate care center where patients can receive medical care with no appointment necessary. Atlanta Medical, giving you Occupational Health Atlanta, committed to high-quality service and value. Atlanta Medical extends from Midtown to 3 growing satellite locations, including West Paces Ferry, North Fulton, and Jonesboro Family Practice. It's a secure feeling for Atlantans to know that there is a facility in the metro area devoted to quality patient care. Atlanta Medical at 897-1010.
GCTV is the cable TV company for over 200,000 customers in and around Atlanta. So it's not too surprising that when most people think of us, they think of great cable programming like CNN, the Discovery Channel, and over 40 other quality cable channels. But while GCTV is in the cable business, we're also in the people-pleasing business. That's why we've got over 100 trucks rolling every day of the week, so we can schedule cable installations when it's most convenient for you. And it's why our business office is open weekdays from 8 a.m. till midnight to serve you. We've even made calling GCTV easier by installing an advanced phone system that handles over 100,000 calls a month quickly and efficiently, even during peak calling hours. So the next time you think of great cable TV programming and great service, think of GCTV. Call us at 292-8822 today, and we'll connect your TV to cable for just $19.92. That's $20 off our normal charge for a standard cable installation. This is a limited-time offer, so call today. Certain restrictions apply.
Hey, David, Clark Howard's back, and I'll be with you tomorrow morning, 9 to noon, to answer all your consumer questions on the Clark Howard Show. Now more with David Paul on Atlanta's news, weather, and traffic station, News Talk Radio, AM-750, WSB.
Thanks, Mark. Kirk Mellish, tell me about the weather.
For this afternoon, increasing cloud cover with a 30% chance of a shower by evening, high in the 50s and 60s. Tonight, light rain likely, low around 40. Tomorrow, cloudy and cool with light rain likely, high 48, low 42. With frequent weather updates, I'm meteorologist Kirk Mellish in the AM-750 WSB Weather Center.
Says here, right here, I got the United States Constitution right in front of me. Let me read just the bottom line. It says no state shall make or enforce any law which shall abridge the privileges or immunities of citizens of that United States. And then the bottom line says, nor deny to any person within its jurisdiction the equal protection of the law. Does not say age, does not say 12 or 34-year-old, does not say adult or child, all people. So if you make your kid go to church, you are denying him his constitutional rights, and you should serve time in prison. Hello, Shawn. Hello, Shawn.
Hi, Dave. How you doing?
I'm doing okay.
I'm a 17-year-old sophomore at Emory University.
Boy, hot shot, man. Bright guy, yeah.
Okay, I want to tell you that this last caller just totally appalled me, Dave.
Okay.
Not once in the Constitution does it, like you said, does it mention age.
Right.
And I think that people under the age of 18 are productive members of our society.
Mm-hmm.
We pay taxes. We contribute to philanthropy projects. And I think to just go out and make a blatant statement like that, this person must have never read the Constitution to begin with.
That is
because
right.
the Declaration of Independence says that all men were created equal. It does not specify age, and not once in the Constitution, except for voting age, does it mention age.
Right, and we made up the voting age.
And also,
and we could just as easily change it too.
I want to point out to this caller that during the Revolutionary War, right along there, people over 18 were 15, 16, 17-year-olds with their muskets fighting for our country.
Of course, they don't want to remember that, do they?
No, they don't.
Mm-hmm.
However, on the church issue, up to a point, I think it might be acceptable for parents to require their children to go to school. But I'm not talking I'm talking when they're smaller, up until the point when they can make an educated, conscious decision about why they don't want to be at church. If they want to sleep in late, that's different. Because I do believe, even though I don't attend church, I'm an atheist, I believe that churches instill morals. So I believe that possibly a church can help a child. It can be part of its education just as school can. But
so an educated 12-year-old, an honor student 12-year-old, right?
If this is right,
does not want to go and explains to mommy and daddy, I don't like a minister, I can't relate to him, the people I can't relate to him, they're all...
If a 12-year-old can...
I think they're all phonies. He should not be required to go.
If he can make an argument...
Yes.
Based with Scripture, or like contradictions...
Wait, why should he have to make an argument? Freedom of religion, why shouldn't he be able to say, I choose not to go?
Why should he be able to choose?
Why shouldn't he just be able to say, I choose not to go? And why should he have to explain it any further?
Just because the church is an institution, is an educational institution, just as much as the school is, and it instills a lot of the morals of our nation. However, it's also just because of the fact that they are, until they can make an educated, conscious decision, they have no reason not to.
All right, thanks for the call.
Okay.
See you later. Shay, you're on AM-750 WSB.
Hi.
Hi, Shay.
How you doing?
Good.
Ask me a question.
What do you mean, ask you a question?
Well, I just wanted to say that I'm 19. I dance for a living.
You're 19. You dance for a living.
Right.
What kind of dancer are you?
Do what?
You're a nude dancer?
Right.
Okay, well, what does that have to do with what we're talking about?
That has to do with a lot of people at Southern Baptist are trying to have us closed down, our club closed down. Okay, I'm Southern Baptist, and I firmly believe in God. I've been baptized. I've been saved. And people don't seem to understand that. People think that people just go in there, the people that dance go in there to party.
Okay. You may, I don't know what your religious, I would not think of questioning you on your religious values. That's completely your business, all right? But what you do is a perversion, all right? You have a perversion.
No.
Yes, you do. If you have a need to stand in front of 10 guys you don't know and dance naked, you are perverted. But that's your business. I mean, you live in America and you have a right to be perverted, but you are a pervert.
No, I think not.
Right. You think not?
I think not. I think that I have feelings just like everybody else.
Of course you do. Of course you do. But you do have a perversion.
No, I think not.
Okay. Good talking to you, Shay. Bye.
Bye-bye.
David Paul, News Talk Radio, AM-750 WSB.
I lit up from Reno, I was trailed by 20 hounds. Didn't get to sleep that night till the morning came around. Set out running, but I take my time. A friend of the devil is a friend of mine. I get home before daylight, just might get to sleep tonight. Ran into the devil, baby, loaned me 20 bills.
Wake up to Thomas's Best and discover breakfast is only the beginning. Now you can enjoy the tastes of Thomas's any time of the day when you create delicious recipes with the Thomas's Best Recipe Book. It's yours free with proofs of purchase from Thomas's English Muffins. See specially marked packages and in-store displays for all the details. And remember to enjoy crispy, crunchy Thomas's English muffins anytime. Find all 4 great-tasting flavors in the fresh bread section. Today's Big Star will surprise you with money-saving Red Dot specials like Thomas's English muffins, regular or sourdough. The 6-count package just $1.69. Golden fresh skinless and boneless chicken breast, $1.99 a pound. Boneless sirloin steak USDA choice, only $2.29 a pound, in packages of 3 or more. And right now, Big Star has drastically cut prices on hundreds of items and has frozen those prices now till Easter. Look for the green prices cut and frozen signs throughout the store. Your guarantee of extra savings, only at Big Star.
AM-750 WSB and Atlanta's Morning News, where every 6 minutes means weather and traffic. You can depend on it.
WSB Atlanta.
News Talk Radio, AM-750 WSB. Time of the tone, 3 o'clock.
Good afternoon. I'm Bob Glaskoff in the AM-750 WSB News Center. The temperature at 3 o'clock, 66 degrees. Today's weather, clouds later, rain possible. High 67, the exclusive WSB 5-day forecast in just a few minutes. 4 more years is what President Bush wants, and it's what his supporters were chanting as he formally announced his re-election campaign today in Washington. Later in New Hampshire, he praised limits on government as he fought a conservative Republican challenger, Pat Buchanan, and he praised the economic recovery plans he's put before Congress. But President Bush's slimmed-down tax plan has gotten the thumbs down from the House Ways and Means Committee. It voted 23-13 along party lines to reject the plan that included a capital gains tax and 6 other proposals. Democrats plan to write a tax bill that would target relief for wage earners, paying for it with higher taxes on the wealthy. Fulton County says no to plans for an adult entertainment club in Sandy Springs. Details now from AM-750 WSB's Elaine Wooten.
The owners of the Coronet Club on Roswell Road were seeking a liquor license, but county staffers say it's too close to a school and recommended denial. The county also says the site doesn't qualify for an adult entertainment license because it's too close to homes. All this comes as welcome news to Susan Dew of the High Point PTA, one of the opponents of the club.
I'm thrilled with the commissioner's decision. We feel like it's definitely not needed in Sandy Springs. It's too close to our schools, school bus stops, and we are thrilled with the commissioner's decision.
Owners of the club are expected to appeal the decision, but opponents vow to continue their fight as well. Elaine Wooten, AM-750 WSB News.
And something for parents to consider. A study out today suggests boys and girls face differing expectations, whether cheerleading, playing sports, or learning computers. They also differ in the quality and quantity of public schooling they receive. Sharon Schuster is president of the American Association of University Women.
They see the glass ceiling around them. They get the message that they have to be beautiful and thin and look good and appeal to men. And so they begin to realize what their limitations are.
The report said girls and boys enter public schools roughly equal in measured ability, but girls emerge 12 years later behind their male classmates in math, sciences, and even self-esteem. News Talk Radio, AM-750 WSB. Coming up, job cuts at Sears, plus the weather from Atlanta's only full-time radio meteorologist and WSB traffic.
Our American dream is under attack. The enemy is the flood of imports that is overwhelming our country. The casualties are our jobs, our standard of living, our children's economic future, our collective well-being as a nation. Since 1980, textile and apparel imports have tripled. During that same period, more than 500,000 U.S. textile and apparel manufacturing jobs have been lost all over the country, despite the industry's reputation for quality. Trading American jobs for foreign imports isn't fair trade. What's fair about opening our market to countries that don't provide equal access to theirs? What's fair about buying clothing that was manufactured under conditions that would not be tolerated in this country? Or sacrificing our good-paying jobs just so someone can profit from 25 cents an hour labor in other countries? So if you think looking for a Made in USA label doesn't matter when you go shopping, please think again. The job you save may be your own.
Office Depot, where America
Why is America getting back to business at Office Depot? Tell me, why did you make the switch to Office Depot?
Well, they take the worry out of buying office supplies.
Worry? How? You mean in getting the best price?
Well, sure, money's part of it, but that wasn't the only reason. I know it's hard to explain.
You mean things like customer service?
Yeah, customer service, having more brands, bigger inventory.
And guaranteed low prices every day.
Yeah, great prices. Then you can order by phone and get next day delivery.
Do you use the Office Depot charge card?
Yeah, that's really convenient. We just charge everything and get billed once a month.
So I guess you're a pretty happy customer, aren't you?
Yeah, look, I learned a long time ago, when you do business with a company that wants your business, there's just no reason to go anywhere else.
Office Depot! Get back to business. Get back to Office Depot today.
News Talk Radio, AM-750, WSB, it is 3:04. Sears says it is cutting another 600 jobs by mid-April in an attempt to save $50 million by next year. It says that besides the reorganization of its regional retailing management, it'll change the way it pays some commission salespeople. Sears has cut 40,000 jobs from its struggling retail division since 1990. And on the subject of employment, 10,000 people are expected to show up for Thursday's job fair in downtown Atlanta. Michael Moore is the head of Recourse Communications, which organizes the Grow with Atlanta Career and Business Expo at the Inforum.
Try to do is to showcase the economy in the area and show that there are a lot of jobs available. We have just about 50 companies that are going to be offering close to 1,000 jobs just at the job fair alone.
Now, the Job Expo starts at 10 tomorrow morning. Resumes being accepted for careers in retail, nursing, computer, sales, and others. On Wall Street, Dow Jones 30 Industrials up a bunch, 25 at 32.76. News Talk Radio, AM-750, WSB. It is 3:05. Now a live update from the WSB Skycopter and Skyplane Traffic Center.
Well, if you're headed in on the West Expressway, I-20 headed westbound around Lee Road, you got some brush fires off to the right. Douglas County Police are with those, and those are just to be out there and not causing a big delay for you as you come westbound on I-20. Up in Gwinnett County, still the traffic lights are malfunctioning along Georgia 316 around High Hope Road, Collins Hill, and Highway 120. Officers are on the scene directing traffic there. Down in Henry County, watch for a very large woods and brush fire going on right now on Jonesboro Road between Chambers Road and Mount Carmel. You're going to find some spectator delays in that area. I'm Chris Monroe in the AM-750 WSB Traffic Center.
The time, 3:06. Save time with WSB Skycopter Skyplane traffic this afternoon on the Gary McKee Hometown Radio Show, News Talk Radio, AM-750 WSB. Now Atlanta's most accurate weather with WSB meteorologist Kirk Mellish.
The precipitation will be west and north of Atlanta today. The WSB exclusive 5-day forecast for this afternoon, partly sunny and unseasonably warm, high 68. Tonight, increasing cloudiness, light rain developing, low 42. Tomorrow, cloudy and cool with light rain likely, high 48 to 52, low 42. And the extended outlook Friday through Sunday, partly cloudy with scattered showers on the weekend, high Friday 59, low 44. Weekend high 66, lows 52. Recapping the weather for this afternoon, partly sunny, a high near 68. I'm meteorologist Kirk Mellish in the AM-750 WSB Weather Center.
Currently, WSB color radar checks out clear under sunny skies. Relative humidity 32%. Winds are from the south at 5 miles an hour. Barometric pressure is falling from 30.22. And at 3:07, the temperature on Peachtree Street, 66 degrees. Out till lunch with David Paul continues on WSB. I'm Bob Glasscoff. And if news breaks out, we'll break in. This is Atlanta's news, weather, and traffic station. News Talk Radio, AM-750.
David Paul on News Talk Radio, AM-750 WSB. The radio talk show for people who constantly breathe in and out, over and over again. How about getting off your big boob and contributing? Our number is 872-0750. That's 872-0750. What the heck are you waiting for?
Every woman is looking for a fragrance that is her own unique scent. I know. I am designer Geoffrey Beans, and I have a new fragrance so overwhelming it practically announces itself. Yes, couple of fromage, the silent but deadly scent that turns a crowded room into a quiet place for you and you alone.
Couple fromage.
It surrounds you with your own smell, as pungent as opium, as lethal as poison. Couple fromage, the aroma that says, anybody got a match?
Couple fromage.
Just look for the bottle shaped like a finger and give it a pull. Yes, she who smelt it, dealt it.
Couple fromage.
In English,
Cottage.
for her, couple fromage, and for the outdoor man, windbreaker. Wear it and be alone.
David Paul here.
Made go to the church they don't want to go, but now they should be made go to church, and I would go right with them. But, you know, a child wants discipline. You can't tell it that it can do what it wants to. You got to tell it what to do to raise it up right if you're a good parent.
A child wants discipline?
Yes. They don't want you to let them do what they want to do.
They want to be yelled at, you mean?
No, they want you to say, now, you can't go.
You mean my kids are deep down inside and they're begging for me to yell at them?
Nope, you don't yell at them. I'm like the lady that said whip them. They do need whipping. Spare the rod and spoil the child.
Right.
I have raised families that don't even belong to me. And I have raised like 9 children, and they're every one of them turned out great. They all have their own
You've raised 9 children that aren't yours?
Yes.
Are you a kidnapper?
No, honey.
Am I talking to a kidnapper?
Nobody wanted the kids. They're kids nobody wanted.
Okay, did you violate their constitutional rights?
I made them go to church, if you call that violating their
Now, there are a lot of
rights.
sheepy kids out there who will not take their parents to kids, and they will not, you know, they're just like their parents will be just sheep, and more sheep. You know what I mean? Just a big flock of sheep.
You know something?
Sheep raising sheep. But I'm talking about the people out there that truly believe in this great country. You future leader kids out there, you don't have to tolerate this, kids. You have an option. It's called suing your parents and taking everything they're worth.
A kid don't have a constitutional right. It's a kid. The only constitutional right a kid has is not to be molested or not to be abused. Otherwise, you make that child grow up to be somebody. And it only can grow up to be somebody if it goes to church. That's what's wrong with these kids on the street fighting and knocking each other's eyes out. They have not been raised up in the church. And I'm for making a kid go to church. If it don't like that church, go with it to another one, but make it go to church.
Just don't know what you're doing, do you, Francis? You just
I
have
know everything I'm doing.
You have no idea what it's all about, do you?
When you tell me when your kids get grown, see how they turn out and see if they turn out as well as the ones I've raised.
And I think I'm like I say, I don't discuss my personal religion, religious belief, and I won't do that. But it's just, no, if my kid came to me and said, look, I have a problem with going here, Daddy, and I don't want to go anymore, I'd say, well, your Constitution says you don't have to go, son. And so I would not take him anymore. Because I would be violating his rights, and what my forefathers fought for, I would be violating those rights, and I would be literally spitting on those people who fought for what we have 200 years ago. I mean,
children don't have rights. We're responsible for them as parents.
Right.
And we have, if we let them do wrong, then we have to pay, not the children. They should go to church now, honey. Now, bye.
Bye, Francis. Mike, you're on News Talk Radio AM-750 WSB.
Hello, David.
Hello, Mike.
How you doing?
Good.
I'm a first-time caller.
Great. I like it. New blood. I like it all day. New blood.
You have quite a lively conversation going today, don't you?
Well, just conversation. That's all it is.
I have one minor detail that I would like to point out to you that I think that you are operating under a little bit of a misconception concerning the Constitution. It does indeed call for freedom of religion, and what you're talking about is freedom from religion, and that's a big difference.
Freedom, no, see, you people have always played with that freedom from religion, freedom of religion. No, it's all the same thing. Freedom of religion is very basic.
Oh, come on, David, I thought that you were more intelligent than that. That's a big difference.
Freedom of, see, you want to complicate it. It is very simple.
Now, let me explain to you the difference.
You're adding more to it.
No, I'm not either.
Freedom of religion.
Which means that you can worship in any way that you want to. It does not protect you.
Or you do not have to.
That's true.
Right.
But it is not saying that there are things that are exempt from religion, and that's what you were saying, is that children that don't want to go to church don't have to because they have freedom from religion. That's not true. That is absolutely not true. What is the legal age for a child?
Legal age for a child is once they're born, they're a child. So the legal age of a child is birth.
No, when do they legally become an adult to make their own decision?
Well, I think they can buy a car here at 17, right?
Okay, well that's fine.
They can sign a legal agreement, I think, at 17 now, right?
Okay, I can agree with that.
Okay.
And then before that, the parents are responsible for them and for doing what they feel is correct.
But I cannot put my kid in a cage, can I?
That's exactly
Even though
right.
he is not being harmed, I can't put him in a cage.
There are laws that protect them. That's
Absolutely,
correct.
and there are freedom of religion.
Oh, there you go again.
Freedom
That's the wrong term, David.
No, that's what it is. It's you have freedom of religion.
And that means that you can practice religion in any way that you want to, and I use that.
That is right. You can practice religion any way you
That's
want
exactly
to.
right.
Any way you want to.
And when a child becomes a legal adult, then they can too. But up until that point, they are operating under their parents' leadership and the covenant in which they have.
Hogwash. Thanks for the call, Monty.
Okay, you're welcome.
Hogwash. So hogwash. David Paul, News Talk Radio, AM-750 WSB.
How would you like to make...
It's Out to Lunch with David Paul on News Talk Radio, AM-750 WSB, the only all-nude radio show in Atlanta. So get naked and call now. The phone number is 872-0750. That's 872-0750. That's 872. Forget it. Stand by for David Paul.
Nominated for 8 Academy Awards.
Excuse me, Miss Daisy?
Yeah?
Look down, your shoelaces are untied.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, no, they not.
Eddie Murphy.
Hey, Miss Daisy.
What?
Hey, look, isn't that Haley's Comet up there?
Where? Oh, you got me again.
Jessica Tandy.
My word, I'm feeling a bit faint.
Oh, gee, that's too bad. Look, why don't you have a seat on this chair over here, Miss Daisy?
All right. Ooh, disgusting.
Nominated for Best Picture, Jivin Miss Daisy.
I'm sorry. Here, let me help you up. Take my hand. I just jiving, Miss Daisy. Here, tell you what, have a cigar here.
Why, thank you.
Jivin Miss Daisy.
Why, this is splendid.
Now playing at theaters everywhere.
I don't get the last caller. Did you hear the last caller for the break? The last caller. Can you believe these people? Can you believe these people? What has happened to America? Remember when this country was strong? Remember when we believed in the Constitution of this country? We put it first. We put it ahead of everything else. Do you remember? Do you remember? And now we just tell kids, look, kid, just screw your constitutional rights. You will go to church. So what about the freedom of religion? So what? It doesn't apply to you. It applies to everybody else out there. Kids, if you're being forced to go to a church you don't want to go to, you hire a lawyer, you drag your parents into court, you humiliate them in the neighborhood, you take their house, you take their car, you garnish their paychecks, you take it all because your rights have been violated. Hello, Ron.
Dr. Dave.
Ron.
What's happening?
Oh, Ron, I don't know. These people they scare me. They scare me.
They're pretty frightening, aren't they?
Yes.
The last caller that called up.
Right.
They said you should make your kids go to school. That they don't. He insinuated they didn't have any constitutional rights until they were of legal age.
Of course they have constitutional rights.
But see, he obviously doesn't read the newspaper, and he's obviously not very smart. Even unborn children have constitutional rights.
You are right.
I mean, does he watch the TV, read the paper?
I guess not. Well, he tried to start some arguing that freedom of religion is not the same as freedom from religion, but this freedom from religion is just a man-made term, and it's just garbage. Right? I mean, it's just garbage that people have come up with later. I don't want to hear it.
That's bureaucratic BS.
Now it's just BS, right? It's just BS. That's all it is. Freedom of religion is very basic, right?
Exactly right, Dave. Everybody has it in the Constitution from the moment of conception.
Freedom of religion. That means you can do whatever you want with it or lack of it, right?
That's exactly right,
And it's very simple. And a kid says, this is not for me, Mommy and Daddy, and even though he's 9 years old, you'd better listen to that kid. Otherwise, he should drag you through the mud.
Forcing kids to do things and forcing them to believe what you believe is detrimental to the kids' development.
You're daggum right. Thank you for the call, Ron.
You're welcome, Dave.
Yes, thank you very much. Hello, Rick. You're on AM-750 WSB.
Hey, Dave.
Yes.
I agree with your last caller, and I agree with you.
Okay.
I wanted to make the point that he had kind of insinuated that, that children didn't have constitutional rights.
Of course they do.
Of course they do. I mean, we're not even going to get into that discussion. Right. I mean, but remember that the reason that our forefathers settled this country was for two things.
Mm-hmm.
Main two things were freedom of religion and the right to have taxation with representation.
Daggum right.
And that was the reason they were so miffed that they came to this country to begin with.
Right.
And now look at where this country has gone.
Mm-hmm.
I can't believe my ears.
Can't believe my ears.
It's just blowing me away.
People force their children into this.
Individualism is what we're all about.
I mean, if my kid came to me, I'd say, yes, you're not a sheep, are you, kid?
No.
You have a mind. You're 9 years old. You have a mind. Thank you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree with...
But they slap them upside the head. You're the one lady, she beat her. Conform, yeah.
Well, I agree that, to encourage them to investigate on their own,
right.
Encourage them, take them to different churches, different forms of religion,
right.
Help them to make their own decision as to what is right for them, but don't make the decision for them.
Yeah, that's right.
Our churches are full of them now as it is.
Thank you very much, Rick.
Thanks.
See you later, Rick. Heck yeah. And if that doesn't work, kids, take your parents to court. Even though you're 10 years old, there's a lawyer out there who will represent you, and then you can sue. Like, what, did your parents have a nice house? It all can be yours. It all can be yours. If your rights are being violated, drag them into court. Let's teach them a lesson. Let's take it to the Supreme Court. Let's go to Clay. Hello, Clay. You're on AM-750 WSB.
Yeah, David, let me just clarify what you're saying. You're saying don't violate your child's rights.
Right.
Okay. Wasn't it you just about 2 weeks ago who said all kids with long hair were unresponsible adults and the parents should be taken out and whipped if they don't take them and have their hair cut and teach them to become responsible adults? And I mean, didn't you have a program on that? What was it, 2 Saturdays ago?
Yeah, but see, long hair is different than we're talking about. Religion is forever. Long hair, you can cut it off tomorrow and it'll grow back within a year. That is not the same thing, and you can't compare religion and long hair, and I can't believe that you'd even bring them up and put them in the same league.
But what you're saying is
really
you're violating your kid's rights. I mean, does your kid really have that many rights when he's under your roof? I mean, you're trying to teach him to become a responsible adult. You're trying to raise him, and I agree with this, that every person has a right to their own religion, but as a child coming up in your parents' home, isn't that your parents' responsibility to try to teach you to become a responsible person?
Yes, but should a kid be able to fight back through the court system?
Has he really got the rights to fight back?
Should he have the right? Yes, he's got the take your parents to court and drag them through the mud. Does he have a right to do it? Yes or no? Well, should he have the right to do it? Should he? I mean, he's got freedom of religion, right?
Yeah, but how many parents would tell their child, hey, if you don't like it the way this is, take the clothes on your back and get out of my house.
Let me ask you, hypothetical. Okay. You got this little family living down the road. Parents are Satanists, right? Mm-hmm. Satanists. They love Satan, right? They're taking their kid, and the kid said, man, this is not for me. But see, Satanism is a religion, right? Mm-hmm. The kid says, this is not for me. This is not for me. Shouldn't that kid be able to go get a lawyer and say, my gosh, I have freedom of religion, and this is not for me. Get me out of this church. Get me out of it. I can't stand it any longer. For that kid, boy, you'd be standing beside him helping him, wouldn't you? Wouldn't you?
I can't do anything
I mean,
to the kid,
you'd be all over saying, let's help out that kid. Let's give this kid the right to sue his parents. Man, you'd be on that kid. In a minute, you'd be doing whatever you could to help out that kid.
Well, I don't agree in Satanism either, but at the same time, I mean, if I'd have grown up in it, I would have made my own choice, and whenever I got the opportunity to get out, I would have got out. But I don't think, I think honestly, if I had told my parents, I'm not going back to your church, I don't want no part of what you're doing, I tell you what my dad just said. He said, hey, pick your clothes up that you've got on your back, get out of my house. Everything you've got in your closet, I bought, I purchased. You want to be a responsible adult, go do it, 9-year-old. You know, and that's, I mean, you're kind of, as a kid, you're kind of stuck because, yes, you can sue them, but if you try to sue them,
Blackmail. They can't throw a kid out in the street. They'll put him in jail.
All they got to do is say, here, I don't want my son anymore. You know, here, let's put him up for adoption. Let's put him, you know, let's give him to the social services to handle.
Well, that's sick.
I mean, people would do that, though, David. I mean, it's honest. I mean,
well, that's horrible people. Horrible, disgusting people. Just because a kid wants to exercise his rights under the Constitution, parents would kick him out. What kind of people are out there? Would you do that as a parent? Would you do that?
No.
Well, I think if a parent's going to be do it, I think it's a good thing the kid found out his parent was like that, and the kid doesn't need to be with the parent anyway, right?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you. So if your parent kicks you out because you say you don't want to go to their church, man, you're lucky. You're lucky you found out and you can get with people that really care about you. Let's go to John. Hello, John.
Hey, David.
Hey, John.
How are you?
Pretty good. You?
Things fine. I'm driving.
Oh, good. Yeah, so what's going on, John?
Things fine. Not much. Yeah, I'm agreeing with you one point. And
you agree with that?
Yeah, I agree about religion because I know my friends they had some different thought about religion. Even they were small children, but they was enforced to go to a church, and they was enforced to eat something
horrible.
They don't want, and just
sick parents,
beaten, and just terrible.
What kind of evil people that they would just disregard the Constitution.
Yeah, that's right. You know, it's terrible. But another point, I think the children have to obey their parents. But, you know, if the parents force them to do what they think isn't good, that's not right.
They have to obey their parents except when it comes to religion.
Yeah, that's right.
I do not have to have my parents' religion, right?
Yeah, if I don't want it, they cannot force me.
The kids have to obey the parents because they live with them, and the parents are bigger than them. And a lot of these parents, like the lady called me earlier, she'll beat them in the mall, you know?
Yeah, they feed them, they give them clothes, they give everything. They have to obey them and to respect them, but not in religion. They're their point to go.
A lot of these parents have the values terrorists have, and that's the way they raise their children.
Yeah, that's right.
Right? You don't go to this church or I'll beat you. I'll beat you, right?
No.
Evil. All right, thanks a lot.
Okay.
See you later, man. Mitch, you're on AM-750 WSB.
Hello, Dave.
Hello, Mitch.
I run into difficulty like that with two sons.
Right.
One was 17, helped him get his driver's license. He went to church, you know, and cut the long hair.
Mm-hmm.
And the other one just refused to go. Didn't make him go.
Good deal. It should make him go.
Well, you know, just there's such things as insanity. He says, like, well, you know, like, brother got a call, and all like that. I said, well, you know, get your hair cut and, you know, be a responsible adult and what have you. Well, he kind of refused to do that, and he said I was hypocritical. Said, you read in the Bible, Jesus had long hair, and he went there and everywhere. And I said, yeah, and you just keep reading on over in there, and you'll see he walked everywhere he went.
Yeah. All right. See you later, Mitch.
Yeah.
Bye. David Paul, News Talk Radio, AM-750 WSB.
Hello again, everyone. This is Jim Ross, inviting you to join me.
WSB. What station? AM-750 WSB. That's what you're listening to. AM-750 WSB. Let's go to Jay. Hello, Jay.
Hello.
Hi.
David Paul?
Yes.
Are you here trying to tell these kids to disobey their parents?
No, not at all.
Well, let's maybe this will happen.
Okay.
Let's hope that one of these parents, where you're telling the kids to disobey them, will prosecute you, and they'll prosecute you to the extreme of the law, and they'll get you off of WSB, and we won't have to worry you anymore, and get somebody decent on there between 12 and 4.
What have I said? I said
every day.
I said love thy Constitution.
No, yeah, you saying love the Constitution, and you're telling them to disobey the parents.
I'm not saying disobey the parents.
That's what you're telling them.
The parents are the ones disobeying the law.
And maybe one of these parents will get a hold of you in WSB if we won't have to listen to you. Us fellas have been listening to WSB ever since the day it come on the air, the first day, and then you have something like you on there for 4 hours. It's a shame we have to listen to you.
So I take it you forced your kids to go to church, right? Is that the problem here? You forced your kids to go, and now I pointed out the truth, and it bothers you. Is that what this is all about?
Yeah. I was in a meeting the other day and had over 600 people at it, and I think I talked to every one of them personally, and I asked them about you. Everyone made a remark, if WSB could get you off the radio, they'd all be happy.
Jay,
from ages 25 up to 65.
Jay, do me a favor. Keep talking about me, all right, Jay? Next time you come across 600 people, make sure you tell them the time I'm on the radio, all right, Jay?
And
12 to 4. Make sure they tell 12 to 4. This guy's
all
horrible.
over the city of Atlanta, everywhere.
They'll say, this guy's horrible. This guy's horrible. Listen to him 12 to 4. Listen to him 12 to 4 and see how horrible he is.
He just messes up the airwaves, don't he?
He's an idiot. He's an idiot. Yeah, you tell him that.
That he is. He's an idiot. That's right.
And he's a sexist, and he messes with young women. Yeah, tell him that, all right?
That's right.
That's right. He abuses.
That's all he has on. It's something nasty on the radio.
Hey, Gumrock, I do not. I do not. I do not. I don't deal in nasty. I'd like to, but management has a problem with it, so. Sorry, I don't. Robert, hello, Robert.
Hey, how you doing?
Ah, guy got on my nerve.
Well, he obviously listens to you every day, though, doesn't he?
That's right, yeah. I don't know. Maybe Maybe I'm just I'm all wrong. Everything.
No,
I don't know, you know. And
if you're all wrong, he'd be listening to something else.
Maybe I should become a sheep and, just not question authority anymore and just become a good little quiet American, right?
Then what would we do?
Start acting like a woman. That's what I'll start doing. I'll start acting like a woman.
What would we do then?
I don't know what you can do, Robert. So, Robert, what do you think, Robert?
Well, my parents recognized the fact that I was an individual from the time I was a kid.
That's right.
And they let me do and supported everything I did, provided I didn't hurt anybody, as long as I, made my own decisions or whatever. They respected that and supported me. Now, if they had forced me to do certain things, I wouldn't have half the respect for them as I do now. I'm 25 now, and I've turned out pretty good.
So now you have an open line of communication with them. You can talk to them.
We're like brothers and sisters now.
Because your parents didn't disregard your constitutional rights.
Exactly
your parents
right.
treated you like you were a real person, not some little growth that needs to be told what to do all the time, right?
Exactly.
I mean, once you became the age of reason and you had a mind to think, they began to listen to what you were thinking.
Right.
Right? And if they said, if you told your parents, I'm not comfortable with this church, I don't want to go anymore, what would they have said?
Well, they said that, I respect that. You don't have to do that if you don't want to
you got saints. Your parents are saints. You don't have average parents.
Well, if I could do half the job that they did on me,
that's
on
right.
my kids, and I'd be doing a super job.
Yes.
So
that's good. Isn't that good? That's a nice way you look at it.
And it's all because of the fact that they didn't force me to do things.
They treated you like
I could make my own decisions.
I hope all you parents are out here listening to Robert here and feeling real guilty. I hope they all are. I hope they feel real guilty, Robert. Thank you, Robert.
Yes, sir.
Do you see that, parents? Do you see the way Robert turned out, the way he talked nice about his parents? You're forcing your kids to go to church. They're going to call up a talk show in 20 years, say, my parents were crazy. They were mean. My mommy beat me in the mall. If I wouldn't go to church with them, they threatened to kick me out in the cold where I'd freeze to death. That's the way they're going to talk about you. That's horrible. It's horrible. My parents disregarded the Constitution of the United States. David, you're on AM-750 WSB.
Yeah, David, if your kids was to go to school and find out you was forcing them to go and practice Satanism, the school and the family and children's services would come in and take your kids away from you.
Well, I want them to get involved also with any other kid that's going to any other church. And see, what you're saying is it's okay for some religions to do it, but not all religions, right?
Yeah, that's right.
So that doesn't make sense, does it?
No.
So I think if a kid goes to school and says, well, Mom, Mommy, and Daddy are making me go to church on Sunday, I think the children's services should get involved there, too, and say, wait a minute, you're forcing a kid to do something that's crazy that he doesn't want to do, right?
Yeah, but they won't do that, though.
So you agree with that, though?
Yeah, I agree.
You agree that if a kid goes into his counselor and says, they're making me go to church and I don't want to go, and that kid is only 8 years old, they should get involved?
Yeah, they should.
Thank you for the call. See you later. 872-0750 is my number. New Blood Day. A lot of new blood, a lot of first-timers. I like it. Call up. It's a very easy thing to do.
AP Network News, I'm Mark Hamrick. California Governor Pete Wilson declares a state of emergency for the flood-ravaged Los Angeles area. The region hardest hit a Ventura mobile home park where floodwaters inundated about 40 recreational vehicles, sending some toward the Pacific Ocean. Newsman Jay Lawrence watched from a helicopter overhead.
As we're approaching right now, looking at a railroad trestle, there's wreckage from one mobile home wrapped around pillars, and the water continues to gush through this area. I mean, tons and tons of it. It's unbelievable. further down the riverbed, just before the exit to the ocean, I should say, there is a pieces of a mobile home sitting there.
Authorities say one couple was killed as husband and wife slept, apparently unaware of a mudslide, and forecasters say it's not over. More rain is poised offshore, blamed on the phenomenon known as El Nino, the cyclical warming of ocean waters at the equator. Less than a week to go before the nation's first primary, the president has trudged to New Hampshire, having formally kicked off his re-election effort. As the AP's Wendell Goler explains, the White House is still considering whether to ratchet up the fire against conservative challenger Pat Buchanan.
As the president wrapped up his second trip of the year to New Hampshire, aides said they still haven't decided whether to use a television ad targeting Patrick Buchanan, who says he's taking Buchanan's challenge in next Tuesday's primary seriously, but in a day of campaigning here, he never spoke the conservative columnist's name. He did, however, savage Buchanan's America First campaign as an economic retreat from reality.
Boil away all the tough talk, all the swagger, and all the patriotic posturing, and protectionism amounts to nothing more than a smokescreen for a country that's running scared, and that's not the America you and I know.
Buchanan says he has a chance to stun the nation Tuesday. He's been campaigning here nonstop for weeks. Wendell Goler, AP Network News, with the president in Manchester, New Hampshire.
The House Ways and Means Committee has dealt a setback to the president's challenge to get his economic package passed by March 20th. Panel members rejected the plan, and Democrats are forging ahead on a substitute measure containing tax relief for the middle class. IBM plans to announce it set up a lab to develop supercomputers containing thousands of processor chips. The financially hurting company hoping that its machines will challenge the fastest of computers already in place. Such an entree would mean IBM has decided to move into a market it has previously avoided. This is AP Network News.
20 years on the same job, 10 years in the same house, and now I'm out of work and behind on my payments. But I can't let them take my house.
Losing your job doesn't have to mean losing your...
Wednesday afternoon, the man then wrecked his car in Douglas County and fled into the woods. Georgia Bureau of Investigation spokesman John Bankhead said police are still looking for 35-year-old Paul Harnum. The child was not injured. House members voted to accept campaign contributions while the General Assembly is in session. The exemption is good for this year only. Under the bill, lawmakers could begin taking contributions as soon as the governor signs the proposal into law. The governor's lottery proposal won approval from a House committee Wednesday, but the committee version does not include Governor Miller's plan to specify what percentages of lottery proceeds would go to various educational programs. Instead, the bill stipulates only that lottery proceeds be used for certain educational programs. The new logo for the Atlanta Olympics is set to be unveiled Thursday. Atlanta Olympic chief Billy Payne says a lot of effort has gone into the new design.
We are just thrilled and believe that it's going to say all in one visual look about what we hope these games will be.
Most of the Atlanta Olympic Committee is in France to take notes at the Winter Games, but Payne had to come home early for back surgery scheduled for Friday. News Talk Radio, AM-750, WSB, with triple coverage. The Bell South Mobility Network, plus Skycopter and Skyplane traffic.
Jumpstart my pacemaker. Climb on my three-wheeler.
I answered some of the phones off the air to angry people. Let me try to explain what, I'm not encouraging kids out there, and I don't. The last thing I want is some kid to drag his mommy and daddy, who brought him into this, world. I don't. The last thing I want is for this kid to take you into court and put you in front of a judge and getting you sentenced to 20 years and you lose your house. That's the last thing I want. That is the last thing I want. I'm just trying to point out the options to the children out there that their rights are being violated. And this option is available to you to sue your parents, and to take all their money and take their house and take their savings account and just kick them out in the street more or less, and maybe put them behind bars. That is just an option they have. I do not want that to happen. I do not want to see you out there just because you don't know what the hell you're doing as a parent. I mean, there's a lot of people out there who don't know what they're doing as a parent. Just because you don't know what you're doing as a parent, just because you're ignorant, to the Constitution of the United States, I do not want you behind bars. I mean, but it could come. It could definitely happen to you. If you make your kid go to church at any age and they don't want to go. If you have a 9-year-old boy and you take him to church and he documents on a piece of paper, keep a little folder, kids, keep a little folder, and he says he does not want to go to church, but you make him go anyway, you force him go, you are violating his constitutional right to freedom of religion. He has got grounds to take you into a courtroom and to sue you for everything you're worth, plus every dime you're ever going to make. Now, I don't want that to happen, but I think we do need one good case like this so we can make an example for the rest of y'all to follow. Okay, but all you people, I mean, I'm just, golly, it's not that I'm just out for just, telling kids, come on, let's just do it for something to do. I want kids' rights protected. Right? And if you did your job correctly anyway, they should want to go to church. They shouldn't have to be forced. And you screwed up. That's all. 872-0750. Let's go to Kevin. Hello, Kevin.
Yeah.
Hi.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm okay.
Well, I'm 18. I'm a new caller.
Great.
And
a lot of new blood. It's New Blood Day.
Yeah. I totally agree on what you're saying.
Okay.
I think that parents don't need to control their children as much as they are, but I think there needs to be a halfway point to where the children can compromise and the parents can compromise. And also, I think you got the constitutional rights a little bit mixed up.
What do you mean?
Well, you see, you're not legally, you do not have constitutional rights till you turn 18.
You don't?
No.
So I can lock my kid in a cage?
Well, no, see, that's
I could treat him like a monkey. You know what I'm saying? He doesn't have constitutional rights. He's not quite a human yet.
When do you start voting?
At 18.
Now, what is the reason?
Yeah, none of that makes sense.
What's the reason to vote?
So I can elect some guy for public office.
You can change laws and amend the Constitution. If you had constitutional rights when you're 5 years old, you would legally have the right to vote.
No, at 18 they figure you have a sound mind and you have an adult mind. You can vote and you're in the decision-making process. But the laws that you elect people to enact laws, but those laws are for everybody at any age.
Well, have you heard about the drug searches at high schools and stuff?
Yes.
Searching lockers?
Yes.
Would you say that's unconstitutional?
Of course it's unconstitutional.
Then it's not. They're getting away with it
because parents are ignorant idiots. Because parents are ignorant and they don't stand up. Of course it's unconstitutional.
See, we had this. I just recently.
And not only that, you ever go to a rock concert? They search everybody.
Yeah.
Unconstitutional. Do they do that when Lawrence Welk comes to town?
I'm going to the Grateful Dead concert in about.
Grateful Dead. Like, get your hands off me, pig. Get your smelly pans off me, sewer breath.
See, I just graduated, and I took a couple law classes at my school, and we had this discussion on, why can they search our lockers and, not even ask, not even have any front, any reason to at all. And they said that until you're 18, you do not have a constitutional right.
Screw you. Right. Does that mean I could burn the school down and, I won't be charged because I don't have any rights? You know what I mean? I'm not breaking the law. I mean, I'm not a citizen, so whatever. Give me a break.
That's what they gave us.
Yeah, right.
They wouldn't make us, kids couldn't leave school till they're 18 if you were in school.
No, that's just a myth they tell you. Of course you have constitution. That's just something they say. It's easy to say, and kids don't speak up. Of course you got constitutional rights. Hire a lawyer. Hire a lawyer.
The lawyers tell us that, too.
Well, lawyers are dumb. All right, see you later, because they work for your parents. They figure you don't have any money, so they're not going to talk to you. All right, see you later.
Yeah.
Sue them. Sue them. Sue them. Take your parents to court and sue them. Let's go to Charlie. Hello.